Hello and welcome to Rambling of 42-Year-Old Man. Chris Smith here with you today. And today we're going to have another movie ramble. So I was able to catch the other day finally. This movie's actually been out for quite a while, but I finally sat down to watch it. And I'll admit I've been putting it off because some of the reputation this movie has. But I'll just say now that I watched Terrifier 2 the other day. Now, anybody who may not have been on social media or heard about this movie, it is the reputation around it is that it is a gore fest, and that is one of the bloodiest and goriest movies of all time. People were passing out in the theaters when they watched it. It was, you have to take some of this reputation with a little grain of salt, but it definitely built itself up as this intense gore movie with scenes of just nastiness that were turning people off. And honestly, as much as I love horror, I am really not a gore fest guy. I mean, I love the Halloween movies because the original Halloween, which had like one drop of blood, I think, in the whole movie. I like more the scares and the intenseness, more than just gore. I was never a huge fan of the torture porn era that we had in the 2000s because blood and stuff isn't scary to me. It's yeah. I mean, it's just sometimes it can turn my stomach, but I don't find that scary. I like more the stalk and slash kind of movies. And I'm a slasher fan, so you're like, oh, he likes lots of blood and guts. It's like, no, I mean, I like the stalking, and I like the kind of intensity factor of it more than I do just the blood of it. And I do enjoy some gore effects and stuff, but sometimes it can go a little too far. I will say, while I enjoy Terrifier 2 a lot, in fact, I actually probably love this movie, minus one specific scene that I really could have done without, that just, in my opinion, went a little too far. I do love that they did all these effects practically, so you're not seeing digital blood fly everywhere like the disaster that Renfield was. So, I give them props on the movie making. They definitely put their money on screen in this movie, and they wanted to see how far they can push it, and they went exactly where they need to go. And you know what? A lot of people love that, so more power to them for that. I'll just say that for me, sometimes there's a level of gore that I'm really good with, and then I sometimes can think it just goes a little too far for me. But, so this is Terrifier 2, came out last year, the end of 2022. It's directed by Damien Leone. He had done first actual movie with this Art the Clown character, that's kind of the mainstay of these movies, was actually called All Hallows Eve, which was a series of short stories, one of them including Art the, short films, not stories. One of them including Art the Clown. And then Terrifier came out that was all about Art the Clown. Now Terrifier I saw, it was okay. I enjoyed it, but it was pretty much a effects extravaganza. It was just about how cool these practical effects were. Not a ton of story. It was really just Art the Clown cutting people up, None of the characters are really very compelling, and they're all just there to be fodder for art. In fact, our main character that we're following for most of the movie gets killed off at some point, and then we're following a sister of that character who ends up brutally disfigured by the end of it. I mean, there's no real win in that movie at all. So I think he took some notes from that, because Terrifier 2 has one of the best protagonists that I've seen in one of these kind of movies in a long time. I'm thinking like Laurie Strode in Halloween, or Nancy Thompson in Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, this is definitely Sienna, who's played by Lauren LaVera. It's definitely one of the best final girls that we've had in a long time. I'm very excited to see what she does. I'm excited to see, this character in future movies, because I'll tell you now, Terrifier 2 did amazing at the theater. It made $15 million on a budget of $250,000. That is a huge turnaround. So there will be more. And from what Damien Leone has said on social, she will be a main role going forward as well, along with Art the Clown. So I'm excited to see what they do with her. Excited to see what she does in other films as well. I hope that she's able to find some other movies that she can be in as well, because I think the acting was really, really great on her part. So this story, if anybody who's not followed it, revolves around Art the Clown, who's kind of this demonic clown figure. In the first Terrifier, we think he's just a guy dressed up as a clown doing all this, but I mean, he is killed by the end of that movie, and he comes back. So now we're looking at supernatural, the Jasonness of it, possibly. And in this one, it definitely leans a lot into more like a supernatural backstory for him, almost a heaven versus hell kind of deal by the end of it, with Lauren LaVera's character literally dressed like an angel throughout most of the last half of the movie. But again, much more narrative driven than the first one was. You've got your heroine character. You've got a couple friends of hers that are very, kind of give you a little similar vibes to the three girls at the beginning of the Halloween back in 1978 movie. Now, I would say that I already talked a bit about the reputation of this just bloody and gory, and there are some intense kill scenes, heads being split open and heads being cut off and hearts being ripped out. I mean, it is bloody, it is gory, it is not for the faint of heart. There is one scene in particular that is the one that's probably the most famous for this movie, that is just minutes, like somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes of just pretty much torture of this one character that I was not a huge fan of. In fact, this movie is about almost 2.5 hours long, which is insane for a horror movie. This character, I think, could have gotten cut out completely, along with her protracted death scene, and the story itself would miss nothing. Some of the reputation for the movie might, because I think the reputation for this movie was built on the gore of this scene, but it really does not add anything to the narrative of the movie. It just adds more of these practical effects, which, like I said, are great. But man, it goes on for a protracted length of time that is not necessary, I think. So Damien Leone kind of started a Kickstarter to get this movie funded, and his goal was $50,000, and they blew it out of the water. $250,000 by the end of it, and you can tell he put every penny into the practical effects of this movie. While I don't enjoy some of the extensive torture and blood and gore of it, I can enjoy the skill that went into the practical effects. I mean, we're talking like people like Tom Savini in the original Friday the 13th, that kind of practical effects skill. Now we're looking at being able to do it in a modern day with some of the modern technologies and stuff, and they don't go with computers, they go with practical effects, and I love that. I do love the practical effects. It's a little much for me, unfortunately. And again, Lauren LaVera as Sienna in this is amazing. The Art the Clown character himself is creepy as hell. I mean, no matter what you can say, he is definitely a antagonist that sticks with you. But again, it's a little overly long. They could have definitely cut out one whole character, in my opinion, that would have also cut out that scene that I really didn't enjoy. It's pretty much the only scene in the movie that I really thought was too much. There's also a couple dream sequences that probably I think could have left on the cutting room floor, and it would have been better. I think you could have brought this movie in at maybe 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it would have been a lot tighter. But it might not have gotten the reputation that it got for having so much of the blood and gore effects. That really helped kick it up to where it made $15 million in the theaters. So again, I enjoyed it. If you can get around just some of the nastiness of it, the story itself is pretty cool. Like I said, the Sienna character and her, final girl standing up to Art and battling him was really great to see. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I will continue to watch them as they come out. I hope that they didn't take the lesson that they need more blood and guts, because I don't think they do. I think continue doing more with the narrative, and I think you're going to find that people will tune in as well. So hope they go that way, but I know Terrifier 3 is already going to be getting worked on soon, and definitely with the success of this one, we'll be seeing more. You can catch that on Amazon Prime right now. It was also on Screenbox if anybody has that. Again, when it comes to recommendations, I don't know how many of my followers are into this kind of movie, but it is bloody, it is disgusting, it is nasty, and I enjoyed it. Not everybody would. So that being said, that's my ramble for today. And we will talk again soon. Thank everybody for listening, like always. And see you next time. Bye.